Welcome to the Eames University. Today we'll be going through the overhead lines corrective work order on the mobile iPad.
Good morning and welcome to another session of EAM. Today, what we're going to be covering is overhead lines, corrective work orders via the mobile device. In this case, we're working with an iPad. So once you have the mobile application for Transit open, go ahead and log in, hit sign in, and it's going to log us in. Now remember, in order to expose our main menu in the top left-hand corner, you want to tap on those three lines, and once we do that, you'll notice that our main menu pops out on the left-hand side. What you'll notice about the main menu are our main menu items, work order, equipment, work requests and settings, and then down in the bottom left-hand corner, you have two additional options, the first being sync data and the other one being sign out. Now, our recommendation for anybody that is using the mobile application is as soon as they grab their iPad for the day and log in, the first thing you want to do is hit that sync data in the bottom left-hand corner. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that. And what's happening now is it's actually downloading any updates that somebody may have made on the web application, also known as the desktop computer. And it's going to upload any updates that we may have made on our iPad to the desktop computer, thus keeping both applications in sync. This could be anything like a new work order that could be assigned to you. This could be an update to a work order that you've already submitted to for review, anything along those lines. Okay, once we've synced our data, the next step is let's go ahead and head to our work orders, and we're going to do so by selecting work order, as you can see highlighted in blue on the left-hand side. Once we do that, you'll notice a list of work orders populates. Now, this list of work orders is specific to the individual who is logged in to the application. Now, you're only going to see the work orders that are assigned to whoever is logged into the application. Okay, so let's talk about a few things on this highlighted record at the top. I just want to point out a few pieces of information. In the top left-hand corner, you're going to notice the work order number, 606498. To the right of that, you'll notice the description of the work order. This is the OHL follow-up historic, indicating that this is against a historic line. Below that, you'll notice the piece of equipment or location that this work order is against. And what you're seeing first is the code OH-F-NOE-ST-17-ST-outbound. And below that, you're going to see the description for that equipment code, which is F, indicating the F line, -OB, indicating this is outbound, your Noe Street, indicating that you are on Noe Street, and then 17th Street intersection, indicating that you're on Noe Street at the 17th Street intersection. Below that, you're going to notice the status, which is scheduled. And below that, you'll notice that there's kind of an orange color, and to the right of that, it says to and urgent, indicating the priority of this follow-up corrective work order. And then on the right-hand side, you'll notice that it says corrective right above January 22nd, 2021, indicating the date that this work order was generated. So let's go ahead and just tap on that work order, and it's going to open it up. Now, as you notice, there's some similar information on the first card titled work order. You'll notice the work order number 606498. To the right of that, you notice it says scheduled in blue, and below that, a lot of the same information that we just reviewed on the list. Now, what you're going to see is a bunch of different cards here, and the way you know what card we're talking about is in the top left-hand corner, in black and bold, it will tell you the title of each card. So the first one on the left is work order, the middle one is work order detailed, and then to the right, you've got comments. If we continue down the swipe, you notice that we have documents, and then we have activities, and in this case, we have two activities to complete. Then we have work order equipment and structure. All right, now let's slide back to our first card titled work order. And one of the first things you want to do is edit the work order and change the status. So at the bottom of that first card, you notice it says edit work order in green. Go ahead and tap on that. It's going to flip the card around. And then we want to come down to status, where you see highlighted in gray. Now we tap on that. And at the bottom, you'll get a little pop-up, and you want to change it from scheduled to work in progress and hit done. Once you do that, you notice that the status has now changed to work in progress, highlighted in gray on the screen. And go ahead and click save at the bottom in blue. Now that's going to save all the changes that we just made. And as you notice at the top of the work order card, it now says work in progress. All right, now the next step is we're actually going to go take a look at our activities. So if you swipe horizontally and get to the activities card, you notice that we have two activities, 10 and 20, basically indicating that there's two activities, 1 and 2. Couple pieces of information I want to point out is notice that on each of the activities, we have 3 lines highlighted, 3 red lines, and then next to completed, it says no on each of the activities, indicating that these activities have yet to be completed. Now let's go ahead and tap on one of the activities. In this case, we'll tap on the first one, activity 10, highlighted in gray, and it's going to open up that activity. Now, some of the first information that you're going to see is on the first card, title activity. You're going to notice the notes. In this case, it says that this is a priority 4, PRTY4, semicolon, at 678 17th Street. The 2O wire is running thin and needs to be replaced in the near future. The defect is located near the movie theater. Okay, so this is some of the information that was passed along when this defect was discovered during a PM inspection that one of the inspectors, either Dave or Manny, performed. And this is the information that they let us know when they discovered the defect. They gave us some, a priority. They gave us a location. They told us what the issue is with the piece of equipment and any landmarks or anything associated to help us better locate the defect. Now, one of the first things you want to do when you get your activity is you can either use the stopwatch to keep track of your time, and you can do so by clicking that start button. Once you do that, you'll notice that the clock starts ticking, and you have a couple options: either stop to book your time or reset to fully reset the clock back to 0, and then you can restart from there. Now let's talk about a couple other pieces of information, like the different cards here at the activity level. So the first one, we got titled activity. And then you've got book labor, additional costs, and finally comments. Now at this point, what you want to do is you actually want to go out there and locate the defect and physically fix the problem that we had. And once you have done that, once you've gone out and completed, replacing the 2O wire that's located near the movie theater at 678 17th Street, the next thing you want to do is at the bottom of your activity, you actually want to go ahead and hit edit activity. And it's going to flip the card around. And then you want to come down to the defect code and select defect code highlighted in gray. And it's going to open up a list of defect codes. Now, as you can see, they all start with bus and a dash, indicating that these are all bus defect codes. But we are OHL, so what we want to do is tap in the search bar and type in OHL with a dash and go ahead and hit enter. And now you'll notice that we get a list of defect codes that begin with OHL. Now we'll just come down and go ahead and select a code for the defect that we just tackled. And for this one, we'll go with, wire down, OHL wire down, indicating that this was the problem with this particular defect. And then the next thing you want to do is tap on repair code. As you can see highlighted on gray, once you tap on that, it'll give us a list of repair codes. And again, what you want to do is tap in the search bar enter OHL with a dash, hit enter to get a list of OHL repair codes. So we'll go ahead and select replaced, indicating the repair action that we performed to fix this particular defect, in this case, the 2-0 wire. Once you've selected your defect and repair code, what you want to do is you want to come up to this completed section and slide that button on the right-hand side to the right. Once you slide that button, it will turn green, indicating that you have enabled that button. Once you have finished that, go ahead and hit save at the bottom in blue. And it's going to save all the changes that we've made. As you can see, next to the stop button to the left of it, completed is now indicated as green, saying that we have completed this activity. Now, what we want to do is hit the stop button on the stopwatch to keep track of the time that we spent on this defect. So go ahead and hit the stop button. And what you're going to notice is a book labor record is actually going to populate with all of the information associated with the individual logged in. So it will have the type of hours. And if you tap on that, you can adjust your type of hours based on, what you're working on: double time, holiday time, normal time, overtime, and warranty time. In this case, we'll just stick with N for normal. Your employee user ID is already populated. Your department is already populated. Your trade, start date, start time, end time, and the hours or the amount of time that you spent on this work order. All you have to do at that point is just hit save at the bottom in blue, and it's going to book a record for us. Now, if you wanted to add any additional labor for anybody else that may be working on this corrective work order with you, you can do so on the middle card, book labor. Right at the bottom, it says add book labor. The top one, go ahead and tap on that. It's going to flip the card around. Now, in this case, you can make any adjustments that you need to in terms of hours. But what we want to do is book labor for somebody aside from ourselves. So what we're going to do is tap on employee. Once we do that, you're going to get a list of employees from the OHL department. So we can go ahead and select an individual that helped us out. In this case, let's select, let's see. I'm going to go with Sean Murphy, S. Murphy. Go ahead and tap on him. You'll notice that his user ID populates right there on the right-hand side. His department updates, his trade updates, the start date updates. Now, all we have to do is come down to the hours field, highlighted in gray, tap on that, and at the bottom, you'll get a little pop-up where you can either on the left side indicate the hours by scrolling up and down, and on the right side, you can indicate the minutes by scrolling up and down. Now we'll go ahead and just say, Sean did the same amount of time as us, which is short, 3-minute job. We'll go ahead and hit done in the top right-hand corner, and then hit save at the bottom. Now you'll notice there are now 2 labor records booked, one for myself, the individual logged into the application, and one for S. Murphy and Sean Murphy, who is somebody that helped me out on this corrective work order. Now, if we needed to do any additional, add any additional labor, we could do so by following the same steps that we just reviewed by clicking add book labor and filling out the fields. Okay, once we're done with that, you can add any additional costs if you need to by tapping on add additional costs at the bottom. If you wanted to add any comments, you can also do so by tapping add comments at the bottom. You'll get a pop-up, and you can add any additional comments here, like fixed to wire, or anything else that you see worthy of being relayed over on the work order. Once you've entered a comment, you can go ahead and just hit the save button in blue at the bottom, and you'll notice your comment gets added with a date and time stamp. Okay, once you're done with the activity, you're going to go in and hit the back button in the top left. And it's going to take us back to our work order level where we saw, the work order detailed comments, documents, and our activities. Now remember, this particular work order actually had 2 defects. So what we did was we just completed activity 10, the first activity, and now you can see that those 3 lines have now turned to green, and next to completed, it now says yes, indicating that we have completed the first activity. Now let's go ahead and select the next activity, activity 20. You can do so just by tapping in that gray area, and it's going to take us to the next activity. Now in this case, you'll notice that the note says something a little different. This one was a priority 2, PRTY2, near 145 17th Street. And it says the bar seems to be having an issue, needs to be looked at right away. And it says that it's near the pizza shop. Again, you can either hit the start button on the stopwatch, or you can manually book labor if you wanted to afterwards. So in this case, what you would do is we go to 145 17th Street, take a look at that bar near the pizza shop, and go ahead and fix that issue. Once you have completed fixing that issue, you're going to come back to your activity card, and you're going to tap Edit Activity at the bottom. It's going to flip the card around. You're going to come down to Defect Code, highlighted in gray. You're going to tap on that. Hit the search bar, type in OHL dash, and you're going to select the defect code. In this case, we could say something like, broken, or the bar. You can also, then we want to go down to repair code, highlighted in gray on the screen, tap on that. Remember to enter OHL dash. And in this case, we're just going to say repaired. Tap on that, and now you can see our defect and our repair codes have both been populated. Then you're going to come to the completed section and slide that button to the right. Once you do so, you'll notice that it turns green, indicating that it has been enabled. And then finally, we're going to hit the save button at the bottom. All right, now remember, you can go ahead and add any labor, just like we reviewed on the first activity. By selecting Add Book Labor, you can add additional costs or even comments on this particular activity. Once you're done with that, you can go and hit the back left arrow button in the top left-hand corner, and it's going to take us back to our work order level. And now you can see both our activities now have 3 green lines, and they both say yes next to the completed portion, indicating that we completed both activities on this work order, and we are done. Now, if you wanted to attach any documents, you can do so by tapping the Add Documents button at the bottom of the Documents card, and it's going to give you a couple options to either record a video, take a picture, add a photo or a video that currently exists in the library on your iPad, or record a voice memo. You can also add a comment at the work order level by tapping Add Comment, and it's just like the comments on the activity, where you enter a comment and hit save at the bottom. And then we want to come back to our work order card, and we want to tap Edit Work Order at the bottom. And now that we're done with our work order, we can come to Status, highlighted in gray, and change it from Work in Progress to Field Complete at the bottom. And go ahead and hit Done. Once you do that, you'll notice the status is now changed. We can go ahead and click Save on blue at the bottom. And now you'll notice at the top of our work order card, it now says Field Complete in blue, indicating that we have completed this work order, and it is now ready for a supervisor or somebody else to review and fully complete this work order. Now, finally, we want to hit that back button in the top left, and it's going to take us to our list of work orders. And you'll notice that the work order that we just worked on has now disappeared because we have changed it from Work in Progress to Field Complete. Now, in order to expose our main menu in the top left-hand corner, remember, you want to tap those 3 lines, It's going to open up the main menu. And finally, before you log out, what you want to do is you want to hit sync data in the bottom left-hand corner. Let's go ahead and do that. And again, what it's doing is it's reflecting any updates that we have made, just like we did on this corrective work order, onto the desktop computer, and it's downloading any additional information that we may need from the desktop computer to our iPad, thus keeping both applications in sync. Now, once you sync, you can either go back to your work orders and select the next one you want to work on, or you can go ahead and sign out. Thank you very much. I hope this was helpful, and we will see you on the next video.